Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly and we are airing from WeBeam TV and we hope you enjoy the show today. We have a new little twist to our Chamber show today and I'm going to let my co-host Clara Rose talk about it. The Savvy Business Builders, and then we're going to introduce Jeremiah, who is going to be talking about his office that he's running for coming up here soon. So I want to thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And Clara Rose, this is a new venture for us here on My Chamber TV.
It's actually not a new venture in its entirety. Savvy Business Builders has been around for a few years. I created it probably 4 or 5 years ago. And the idea was to create a resource for believers in business. That was the vision that kind of God birthed in my head, was this resource for believers. So as you know, last year I was the CEO of the Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
So I kind of put that on the burner for a bit and went and worked with the chamber. Now they're board run and aren't using a CEO anymore. But it was a great experience. I learned a lot, and it really gave me a different perspective on what I wanted for Savvy Business Builders. So I'm bringing it back out and dusting it off, and Savvy Business Builders is a virtual chamber.
I love this.
It's a virtual chamber for the virtual world that we live in, but it's for believers in business. So it's a place where we'll have an online directory, a place for believers to connect, believers in business specifically, to connect with each other and get educational things, which is always at the heart of everything I do, trying to educate people, giving them tips, tricks, tools, techniques, things to help them in their business.
And are you finding that this is going to be really helpful for believers in business due to the fact that they can do this online and make it really time effective for them? Because we've talked about many times before that time is our most valuable commodity. And I noticed that it's being chipped away more and more, time and time again. And you have quite a background with online, I think just about everything, right?
I've done a lot of stuff online, and of course, I'm co-founder of Rosedale Communications, which is a company that has an online product. We help people to create their book to use as a tool in their business or their ministry. So we do a lot online, and I have been connected online for a really long time. I'm totally a tool geek, tool nerd, if you will. So if there's a tool that can make my job easier or better, I'm all over it, and using the internet is where it's at now.
Yes.
So
and
sense.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I, as a baby boomer, and I say it all the time, that I've been resistant, but I have no choice, and neither do you have any choice if you're in business.
That's right.
I mean, it changes on a regular basis.
It does.
And when it comes to the virtual chamber, I think everybody's going to have everything right at their fingertips.
Yes.
Really save a lot of time.
Yes.
Save a lot of time, and that's a big deal. However, I do want to go ahead and introduce our guest, who also relied a little bit on print work, which is still
out there,
needed today, because you can hand these out. And I was just admiring Jeremiah Hawk's card, because he is running for Pasco County Court Judge. And I'm excited to introduce him today because he's with the Pasco Sheriff right now as an in-house attorney, and it's just a delight to have you on board. So tell us how this excitement that you're going through here.
So, like you said, I work right now for Sheriff Nocco. I'm one of his in-house attorneys. They call me a bureau chief, so what I do is I oversee the budget and the finance areas as well as the legal area. You know, as part of that, I do labor negotiations, I do contract reviews, I've done appeals, mediations. So it's a very interesting mix. You would think working for the sheriff you would do all criminal stuff, but in reality is, if you think about it, the sheriff has 1,300 employees almost. He has a fleet of hundreds of cars. There's a lot of car accidents. There's a lot of employment law stuff to deal with. And so we get to deal with a wide diversity of areas in the law. Previously I was a prosecutor, so I did criminal jury trials and prosecuted for 5.5 years. And then I worked for the Florida House of Representatives as the general counsel there, and I helped draft legislation. I testified before legislative committees, and I represented the legislature before the Florida Supreme Court, and did an argument before the Florida Supreme Court, which was a fun experience. But now I'm running for the county court. That's something that everybody in Pasco votes on. It is an election. A lot of people think all judges are appointed, but in Florida, trial court judges are actually elected. The county court is the court that hears cases, civil cases up to $15,000. Also misdemeanors, which in Florida, misdemeanors are crime punishable by less than a year in jail. Ordinance violations go to county court. Traffic tickets go to county court. Evictions are handled by the county court. The county court is the court closest to the people, is what they say. You know, a lot of people come to county court, and because these are smaller dollar figures that are at risk or smaller amounts of jail, a lot of the people who come before the court are pro se. And so it's, you know, as the judge, you've got to kind of be able to deal with the public a little bit more than you might have to in the circuit court or the appellate court.
And listen to them speak like normal people.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what you're saying?
I think that's one of the most important things about the court is I think people need to feel like they've been heard, because you know you want to do two things as a judge. One, you want people to feel like they got justice and the right decision was made, and two, you want to make the right decision. And those aren't exactly the same thing. If somebody comes into court and you just rule on their case without them having an opportunity to speak, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. They're not going to feel like they got justice.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're not going to perceive that they had an opportunity to be heard. And if they don't perceive that they had an opportunity to be heard, then it doesn't matter if your decision is legally correct or not. They're not going to feel like that they had their day in court.
And how would you feel about that?
If I wasn't heard, I would be upset. Yeah.
Exactly. And then on the part of the judge, making the decision to hear them out, and that's different than, that wouldn't be protocol for everyone. There are judges that do it this way that you're explaining.
Well, I mean, I do feel like, you know, in the past, and I'm not going to get too
Name
specific.
any names.
No, we don't want to name any names.
Let's not make
But we do want you to vote for Jeremiah, okay?
Yeah, we're going to name that. I do feel like there's been times where I've gone into a court and it does seem like the judge had their mind made up before you even started talking. And I think that's, you know, that's unfortunate. You know, the attorneys have prepared really hard to be in court, and like I said, the members of the public, you know, for the judge, it might be a routine thing. It might be something that the judge deals with all the time, and the judge may know what needs to be done in that case. But for the person who's there that day, this is a unique experience for them. They're not coming into court all the time, and so I think it's important for the judge to be mindful of that, and I think it's important for the judge to hear them out. You know,
I'm voting for him.
I'm just thinking, I love him. I'm voting for him.
I'm voting for him.
I am definitely voting for you just by what you are coming from your heart.
You know, thank you. I appreciate that. And you know, the other thing I think that's important for judges is I think judges need to follow the law. Even if a judge doesn't like the law, they need to apply the law as it's written and not go outside of the law. So, you know, judges aren't there to do what they think is best. They're there to apply the law. And so even if the legislature has done something that the judge doesn't like, the judge needs to follow the law. The legislature makes the law. The governor, you know, applies, executes the law, and the executive branch executes the law. The judge needs to follow the law, and whether that's what the law that the judge would have made or not.
I'm hearing like something like maybe not all judges do their job like.
They're not all created equal.
I'm trying to say that. I'm trying to get that out.
Some judges suck. Is that what you're saying? Right.
Well,
Oh, Claire.
okay, I don't want to. I'm not
Oh
here.
no, that's for the unscripted show. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not here to criticize other judges. I'm just here to talk about what I would do as a judge if I'm given that honor of getting to serve.
Right. But I mean, with all joking and kidding aside, I mean, that's where we come in and say, that's politics for you. That's politics for you at times, you know. And I love what you're saying too, because you're right. When somebody comes in and this is a whole new thing for them, they don't know any different. So to have somebody like yourself to really come from the heart and give them that mutual respect instead of sitting up high on the pedestal, and you know what I'm trying to say. So
well, we all want heard. Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, we only have 30 seconds, but I'm sold. I have a feeling you're going to be in that seat.
Where can they learn more about you?
So if they go to my Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Hawks4Judge. Please go to it. You can learn more about me, learn more about my family and my background. Please like and follow the page and share it with your friends and invite your friends to like it. That you can learn more about what I'm doing and where I'm going and follow on campaign events.
Very, very nice. Thank you so much. Especially for putting up with the two of us here.
Oh, no, it's no problem. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you again.
Yes.
And we'll be right back with more guests here on My Chamber TV.